Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Non-Classics. This is episode number 2036 and Doubleshot 1930. Now, I have pretty much two Marvel trades here. First up is a trade from a short-lived series that came back in 2015, I think it was. 2015, 2016. Now, originally it was planned doing here a New Mutants trade, but it turns out the one I actually had checked out on the Paul app, I actually didn't write, so I had to return it, sadly. And I can't check out another one until like next month. But we do have a dynamic book. We have Hercules, Staying Strong. This collects the entirety of Hercules Volume 3. I say the entirety even though there's no book comes right afterwards, Civil War II, Gods of War, which this book helps out that mini-series. Which, in my opinion, they should have just basically just kept it under the Hercules name instead of changing to Gods of War. You could keep Gods of War as its name of the storyline. Now, when this series came out, roughly 7 years ago, I read it when it came out. I was shocked the fact this book ended after only 6 issues. Now, is this book bad? No. It isn't. It's actually a very good book. Now, you could tell by look at the cover that the outfit Hercules is wearing is not the Jack Kirby outfit. Now, he basically, in this book, he's got an apartment now. He has Gilgamesh from the Eternals living with him. Yes, the Gilgamesh, a.k.a. the Forgotten One, who at one point was an Avenger, just like Hercules. So, Hercules is basically living in an apartment building. Of course, he has a landlady who at first looks like a little bit older than she is, and then later on she's drawn to be a very beautiful woman. And there's also a recurring gag in the book where he frequently hits on his own landlady. Yeah, he would do that. And he does bring up, when he introduces himself, basically, where he's sort of like, the way he is written in this book, it's like he's written to be sort of like someone who gets paid to basically fight monsters. Or at least asked to investigate something related to like cosmic or a little bit supernatural stuff. He basically is tasked to basically deal with that. In his apartment, he's got this one room, he's got a whole bunch of weapons, and on display is a Jack Kirby outfit he basically is wearing over the years. It's almost like that was retired and switched out for this. Excuse me. And also, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know this actually was the very first Hercules series released since 2011? Yeah, the time this book came out, it's only been 4 years since the last book. The last book was simply Herc by Greg Pak. Yeah, that was the last one. And throughout this book, he also deals with these various other gods, one of whom basically puts his handprint on him. So anybody who's not associated with him, like with this book, like anybody who's not Gilgamesh or people in the apartment, he also runs into a older lady who looks like she's a punk rocker. This might be older. And someone he apparently knows for a long time. And throughout this book, it's written where that Hercules, according to people who are not part of his main cast, is that he's basically punching at nothing. Yeah, that's revealed at the end of the book. So he goes out drinking at this. But I think it's also pointed in the book he's been sober for some time. Yeah, he's been sober for a long time. He also, in the first issue, does point out his other names, like Hercules, like his various other Greek names he's gone over the years, which great that now acknowledges that. They'll bring up the fact that what happened with his family, where he went crazy and murdered his own family. Yeah, there's no mention that here. And basically, where he's doing something in his apartment, and basically his landlady is keep frequently asking him or anybody in his apartment to simply help her basically carry this big, huge pot of soup. Like the stew, basically, they're going to eat before they go out to combat. And, of course, deal with it, but they're not exactly finished here yet. And then this leads into stuff related to Civil War II, Gods of War, which, the thing with that book is, like, I actually own the book. It's somewhere in one of my boxes here. That book was simply put, like, you read it, it does not read like a Civil War II tie-in. No, it doesn't. It feels like basically the next few issues of this book. It's only 4 issues. In my opinion, I still have this opinion, even after reviewing that trade. That miniseries should have been issues 7 through 10. It should have been. But no, they canceled this book for that miniseries. Now, was this book apparently canceled at low sales? That is a slight possibility it could have been. But honestly, I don't really know what could have been the reason for the cancellation of this book. Now, from what I've heard about this book, especially when it was coming out, this book was getting a lot of positive praise. And yet, book gets canceled. After only 6 issues. Sadly. But this is definitely a damn good book. I do recommend people who are fans of her. Oh, if you're a fan of Thor, or at least anything Jack Kirby related, check this book out. This book is awesome. Though the end of the book basically has where he ends up at that bar he was at the start of the Civil War II Gods of War miniseries. Yeah. By the way, the artwork for the book is done by Luke Ross, who pretty much does the main book, except for issue 6. That's issue done by Gurren Sogoya and the Kanjaja. Yeah, basically it's like a laborer. Like, here's the landlady where she appears at first. Like, she looks a bit older, like a woman presumably in her, I'd say her 40s maybe. And yeah, Hercules frequently hits on her. Yeah, and of course there's also the... This. Yeah. It's something that Hercules basically would just frequently hit on women. Just because, like, fights laborers and just fights various other things, but just a damn good book. I'm going to give the book roughly, give the Hercules book a 9.5 out of 10. Just damn good. My final thoughts on Dan Abnett's Hercules run, which I'm also including the Civil War II Hercules trade, Civil War II Gods of War. Just a damn good book. It's a shame the book got canceled. Sadly. Nothing wrong with the book per se. It had a good story. Like, if people weren't familiar with the Greek version of Hercules, you would think Hercules, a book called Hercules, that Marvel would push it. And I think Marvel didn't push it very much. That's probably what it was. It wasn't much marketing for this book per se. I mean, when the book ended, it was just completely out of the blue. Because this is one of those books Marvel would axe, and nobody knew it was axed unless, of course, the next issue to come out. Yeah, that's been a recurring problem with Marvel over the years, where they capture like one time where they actually announced that these books getting canceled. A lot of the time these books end, they just end. No announcement, they just abruptly end after a certain amount of issues. Because, like, if they don't sell very well for these amount of issues, just axe and don't tell anybody about it. Yep. Now, next move over to, this actually is the first of 4 trades. I actually own the 4 trade for this one. I actually bought one with the comic shop just a few days ago. This is Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. The beginning is one of these digest books. This book contains the first 12 issues, of the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur series. Moon Girl, an inhuman whose basically in power is that she can swap bodies with Devil Dinosaur. And she's really smart. At one point, she claimed to be the smartest person in all of the universe. And everybody believed, despite the fact that title belongs to Reed Richards. Not her. She is the kind of Reed Richards later on in the book, because I think when this book came out, if I remember correctly, I think when the book came out, I think, what was it, 2012, I think it was? Let me take a look here. Let me take a look and see when the book was officially released, because I know the book concluded in 2019. Yeah, it was like 2019 when the book was concluded. Mm-hmm. It was 2015, yes. And at the time this book came out, Marvel couldn't use Fantastic Four at all because of the recurring blood feud between Marvel and Fox at this point in time, until a few years later when Disney bought out Fox. So, this book is done by Amy Reeder, who is a damn good writer, and the artwork in here is by Brandon McTeer, who they're both co-writers. The artwork in here for issues 1 through 6 and 8 through 12 is done by This is mostly the main artist of this book, with the exception of one issue. In the Kacha Boostix, issue 7 is by Marco Fella. Mostly put in the case of the opening issues, we have Moon Girl getting her powers, and basically, unlike the way it was in Ironheart, where her when she was a little kid, she had a little more decency, and the way her parents treat her, despite the fact she's smart, she's still treated like a little kid. And the thing is, Moon Girl is 9 years old. Yeah, she is 9 years old when this book starts. And she basically, she's inhuman because she exposed Terrigen Mist, but she didn't change. She just got a bison ability with Devil Dinosaur. Yeah, so Devil Dinosaur, I mainly checked this book out originally because I'm a Jack Kirby fan when this book came out, and that was mainly the reason, because Devil Dinosaur is a Jack Kirby creation. Amy did not create Devil Dinosaur. That was Jack the King Kirby. And you might be curious, though, does Moon Boy pop up in this book? A few times, but most of what he leaves Devil Dinosaur with, of course, Moon Girl. And, of course, her parents just don't understand. That's the way she's written here. Then she gets exposed to this stuff here, which makes her inhuman. Yeah, then, of course, Devil Dinosaur gets transported from a version of the Savage Land to, modern day thanks to a device. Yeah, Devil Dinosaur just disappears, just appears. And apparently, they had it where Moon Girl has her under control. And throughout these issues, basically, people just keep misunderstanding her when it comes to Devil Dinosaur. They think he's a menace. He really isn't. Everyone gets a hand of this strange, little device because, well, this thing kind of basically brought him here. Yep, so people were trying to take Devil Dinosaur back. And then she gets teased for just being the smartest girl in school. And of course, you see her crib where this massive thing under the school is also near her house as well. She keeps Devil Dinosaur here. Then apparently at the end of issue 3, she meets Amadeus Cho, who thinks basically is thinking oh, that he must be a monster taken down. And she's like, no, he's perfectly fine. Of course, yeah. Takes her Amadeus Cho for a couple issues. He also punches Devil Dinosaur, kisses his bicep. They keep playing how strong he is, And she asks the obvious question: What does the 8th smartest man in the world know about Terrigen? Terrigen, you know what it is? I know what Terrigen is. I know what you're asking. The Terrigen clad human transformation. And of course, basically, everyone thinks she's stupid. Of course, oh, and then she thinks out a punching bag to punch a freaking fire truck. Yes. A punch thing. Yep. It's a very interesting book per se, but she's not the only person. Amadeus is not the only person she encounters in this book. Oh no. At one point, he's taking museum natural history, though she later gets him freed. She apparently also has a computer built into an arcade game called Space Rocks. For some reason, she made this arcade cabinet into a actual computer. So here she debuts her outfit she wears on the cover, about 6 issues in. And of course breaks him out, he breaks himself out. Then, that was actually issue 5. Then of course, a bunch of other stuff happening where things so happy. Yeah. And then we finally see the Terrigen Mist finally kind of oh. And then, of course, basically, by issue 7, she finally gets changed and nothing happens. And then she unlocks her human. And then we see a debut of Melvar. And apparently the outfit he's wearing is actually It's built by his father. Get this. These are Captain Marvel PJs. Yes, he is literally wearing PJs. Despite the fact that it clearly looks like the uniform. And apparently he had here's kind of the strange thing, he apparently has it where he keeps getting rejected. Despite his family's been going to academy for generations. He is not smart enough? Why is he getting rejected? Oh, and by the way, it's also in this book, this kid is actually a 9-year-old girl. And then when he feels with her later on, he's like, gross. Yes. Because she's 9. Then she stops some TV thieves with Dinosaur. Doesn't cause much damage per se. Well, very little damage. She also ends up taking him down. Not because the bag of the punch, brush her teeth with, get this, usually almost like a big brush you use to wash a car, brush his teeth, and then basically he just runs away, and wears his shirt oh, and what's the planet? He's just so obvious, yeah, and over time basically he's here, and then his father finds out he's missing, and of course also the whole thing of the human power shows up here in these later issues. Where she has the body swap thing. And of course, it's happened a few times where Moon Girl is just acting crazy. And of course, she's basically occupied a devil dinosaur. Eventually, everything's back normal. And then, of course, she deals with Kid Marvel. And by the way, his father thinks that she has brainwashed him. Yes, a 9-year-old girl has brainwashed an alien boy to be in love with her. That is pretty much what he believes. He made this up because he ran away. Oh, by the way, at the end of issue number 9, we have the Camilla Miss Marvel show up. By the way, she only just showed up 2 years prior to the start of the series. Yeah, and after she shows up, it's after apparently staring at his wife, which is just me, or it seems like his wife has got a face that's sort of like a guy, but that's an artist basically who draws it. So I think after her staring at him for quite a while, I was okay, I've decided I should look into what happened in Marvel. Yep, and of course you look into humans, and of course he thinks that he's been kidnapped by Luna. Yes, he thinks Luna's kidnapped her. Yeah, and of course, basically, despite the fact he's there, of course, Luna tries to explain what the heck is going on. And of course, she explains basically the turned human. No, she was always a smart. I mean, no big deal. You did. No one ever does. What's your human powers? About that. It's complicated. It's not so great. And of course, gives her a venture communicator. Yep. And the whole thing of her, and then being in love with him, he'd be in love with her, and various other stuff happens, and she's gross. Yep, and of course, yeah. It just her father shows up, and they have various other various a sci-fi attack. Then Armideus Cho shows up. Yeah, of course. As for a challenge, scientific question. He says, "I built a functioning cybernetic triceps out of Lego. It was a 4th grade competition, but I lost. Yeah, tough break. But I was kissed up when he had something really incredible. This used to belong to another friend. He built it. What is it? You tell me, what's the point? It's a test. It's like, you didn't want to do it. All right, no one ever knows how. Think. And apparently, solving this puzzle makes her the smartest person in the whole world. This one puzzle. Yeah, that's how issue 12 ends. And we have a preview of Marvel Rising here. Yeah, Marvel Rising. This was the stuff that basically led to changing the name of Spider-Woman to Spider-Gwen to Ghost Spider for reasons. Yep. It's an interesting stuff here. Just basically just issue 0 they include in here for reasons. But this is still pretty good. Not a terrible book per se. But I'm still going to talk about the rest of the series when I get a chance to get to it. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much the particular review. Except 2 manga reviews and on the bar, okay? Bye.